and Eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. More snow is falling in parts of eastern Kentucky tonight as temperatures drop. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of customers in Kentucky are still in the dark after yesterday's snow and ice. For a look at what you can expect overnight, let's check in with First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean. Eric.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. And as you mentioned, we did see that snow push through earlier. The temperatures are dropping as well. We had our high in the early morning hours. Here's the latest with live pinpoint Doppler radar. We'll go ahead and pinpoint over towards the central portion of the WYMT viewing area. You can see a little bit of snow towards Hazard, across southern portion of Perry County, portions of Leslie County, seeing some snow. There's the Viper area. There's the Emelina area. Pippa passes towards the McDowell area, seeing a little bit of snow at this time. And then we move over towards our West Virginia counties, over towards Mingo and Logan County, where you can see that snow falling towards the Mount Gay area, the Robinette area, as well as the Gilbert area. Now that winter storm warning that is in effect, it's slowly but surely being chiseled away. You can see from Elliott County down to Wayne County, Kentucky, down to Campbell, Claiborne County, under no type of advisory now at this hour. There's Whitesburg. You can see the roads there. You see a little bit of a glisten on the roadway, so we are seeing a little bit of ice at this hour. You can see the cameras iced over at the Mountain Parkway site there near Slade. As we take a look here near London. London didn't see much in terms of snow, and we forecasted that, but you guys had a lot more ice to contend with. Right now, temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s. Feels like temperatures right now in the teens, and that's going to be the trend for the next few days, but we're not out of the woods in terms of snow. Details in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. And we have heard of a few minor crashes this afternoon, so the roads are freezing up, so be careful if you have to get out tonight. Snow is affecting folks all across the state of Kentucky. Take a look at some video out of Louisville. We understand about 9 inches of snow was recorded at the Muhammad Ali International Airport. That, of course, impacted flights in and out of the city. Bluegrass Airport in Lexington also affected. Now, this was the most snow Louisville has seen in a single day since 1998. A Kentucky State Police trooper is recovering at home after his cruiser was rear-ended on Interstate 65 in Hart County during yesterday's winter storm. Take a look at the damage done to his vehicle. Governor Beshear says Trooper Landon Key was working a crash when his cruiser was rear-ended by another driver. He is now out of the hospital and is expected to be okay. Officials want this image to be a reminder to stay off the roads during winter weather. We'll have much more on the winter storm here in eastern Kentucky in our next half hour. President Biden and the First Lady are in New Orleans, Louisiana, to attend a service for the victims of the January 1st terror attack in New Orleans. The visit comes as investigators continue to examine possible motives of the driver who carried out the tragedy. CBS's Omar Villafranca reports.
President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden traveled to New Orleans nearly a week after the deadly New Year's attack in the Crescent City. 14 people were killed when the suspect, identified as Samshuddin Jabbar, intentionally rammed a pickup truck into a crowd before he was killed by police. Over the weekend, the FBI released a video showing the Army veteran riding a bicycle through the French Quarter last October and recording video of the scene using his Meta smart glasses. Other clips captured on street cameras and released by the FBI appear to show Jabbar planting homemade bombs in coolers throughout Bourbon Street, hours before carrying out the attack.
He didn't use the correct device to set it off, and that is just indicative of his inexperience and lack of understanding.
In light of the tragedy, officials here in New Orleans are beefing up security to protect Mardi Gras revelers as celebrations here begin.
There'll probably be more vehicles accompanying us because everybody wants safety first.
New Orleans mayor has also called on a tactical expert to review the city's safety plans ahead of next month's Super Bowl.
An expert opinion is something that will assure us that what we're installing meets the need, but if not, we're not stopping there.
As the city continues to grieve, family and friends said a final goodbye to Tiger Besh. The 27-year-old who died in last week's attack was laid to rest Monday in Lafayette, remembered as a fierce and loyal friend who impacted so many. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, New Orleans, Louisiana.
The FBI says it is also looking into trips the ISIS-inspired attacker made to Cairo, Egypt, and Ontario, Canada during the summer of 2023. President-elect Donald Trump wants his sentencing in a hush money case to be delayed again. After dismissing Trump's attempt to throw out the conviction last week, the judge set his sentencing for this Friday, and I believe I just read before I came out here that the judge has denied Trump's request to delay that. The judge has said he will not sentence Trump to any jail time. Trump's lawyers argued the sentencing must be put on hold while his appeals play out. And again, I believe the judge has denied that. They had asked for a response from the judge by this afternoon. Congress certified President-elect Donald Trump's election win this afternoon without incident. The proceedings were a far cry from what happened 4 years ago today when Trump supporters breached the Capitol in an effort to stop lawmakers from certifying Joe Biden's victory. CBS's Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
Congress formally certified Donald Trump's 2024 presidential victory Monday.
This announcement of the state of the vote by the President of the Senate shall be deemed a sufficient declaration of the persons elected President and Vice President of the United States.
The candidate he defeated, Vice President Kamala Harris, presided over the count, a process steeped in tradition as the electoral ballot boxes made their way through the Capitol to the House floor.
Today, America's democracy stood.
The peaceful proceedings with no objection stand in stark contrast to what happened here 4 years ago when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol to try and stop the certification of Joe Biden's 2020 presidential win.
We cannot let anyone whitewash what happened here 4 years ago.
Nearly 1,600 people have been charged for their roles in the January 6th Capitol attack. Of those, 1,000 have pleaded guilty and 600 were charged with assaulting or resisting police. President-elect Donald Trump has promised to pardon January 6th defendants.
Democrats say that would be a dangerous endorsement of political violence. Republican lawmakers, meanwhile, are promising to advance President-elect Trump's priorities as quickly as possible.
We've been focused on getting President Trump's cabinet up and running quickly by ensuring that his nominees are speedily confirmed.
New CBS News polling shows 4 years later, the January 6th Capitol attack continues to be met with disapproval from a large and bipartisan majority of Americans, though Republicans' disapproval has softened. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
In a social media post, former Vice President Mike Pence, who presided over the 2020 certification, wrote that he welcomes the return of order and civility to these historic proceedings, adding that it is admirable that Vice President Harris would preside over the certification of an election she lost. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has announced he is resigning from office and as head of the country's Liberal Party. Trudeau, one of Canada's longest-serving prime ministers, said increasing discontent over his leadership and internal political battles led to his decision. The 53-year-old took office in 2015, but there have been calls for him to step down within his own party regarding the increasing cost of food, a housing shortage, and a surge in immigration. The Pentagon is proposing a legal settlement linked to its Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. This potential deal is connected to a case filed in 2023 against the Department of Defense regarding veterans who were discharged because of their sexual orientation. More than 30,000 members of the U.S. military were forced to leave because of the policy, and plaintiffs say their discharges disqualified them from receiving veterans' benefits. Americans are celebrating the life and legacy of former President Jimmy Carter this week. Well-wishers are filing past his casket at the Carter Presidential Center in Atlanta for one final day before he is taken to Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning. Outside the center, people of all ages are leaving flowers and messages, paying tribute to the nation's 39th president.
It's a celebration. I know many people feel very somber, but I feel mostly celebratory for having known, I don't mean I know him, but of knowing this man and his good works, and they're very inspiring.
He inspired lots of people to do great things.
Carter will lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda tomorrow and Wednesday. And Thursday, all 5 living presidents are expected to attend his state funeral at the National Cathedral. Starting this year, you can save more